Am I the a-hole for going above my son's teacher after she asked him if he was gay? My son is 13 and is quirky. It's very easy to confuse a 13-year-old boy who isn't really into sports and more into Greek literature as being effeminate. He is also a late bloomer. Given these circumstances in middle school, it's very easy to be labeled as being gay. As his dad, I'm pretty sure he will be straight. He has a few issues with some classmates that's more related to personality conflicts. Those same classmates are your average middle schooler holes who are a-holes to everyone. It doesn't rise up to the standard of bullying. Long story short, my son's teacher noticed this and wanted to discuss it with him. My son said he didn't care, and his teacher went off about how people shouldn't treat him because he's different. My son was very confused, and his teacher asked, "Well, you're queer, aren't you?" My son came home crying over it, and the comment was made within an earshot of another kid who laughed. Now that's bullying. I emailed the teacher, who quickly turned it onto me saying that he was concerned that my son wasn't getting the support at home if he was queer and was being bullied at school over it. I told him my son's sexuality was none of his business. He apologized and asked to meet with me and my son personally to apologize in person. I thought about it and decided an apology wasn't enough. There needed to be accountability, and this teacher needed to be taught a lesson himself. I went to the principal, who was pretty livid after spending a few days looking into the matter. She wouldn't say what the outcome was, but the teacher was Maya, and I heard he got suspended for a couple of days. Edit. For people who are asking me how I know if my son is straight, it's a moot point. The real point is that his sexuality is none of his teacher's business. Furthermore, if he thought my son was being bullied or harassed, then he should have gone to me instead of taking matters into his own hands. The teacher didn't see my son getting beaten up or even called a name. What he saw was my son being different than most of the other boys in his class and concluded that he must be queer or gay or whatever. Now let's read some comments. Not the a-hole for complaining. That was inappropriate on the part of the teacher. As his dad, I'm pretty sure he will be straight. What? Edit. A lot of people seem to think that I'm saying it's wrong to guess at the sexuality of the kid. That's not what I intended. Given his homophobic comments and the overall tone of the post, that comment started sounding a lot less like I think he's gonna be straight and more like he'd better be straight. I guess highlighting that one individual sentence without context made things confusing, but I wasn't expecting it to blow up like this. I can't believe how many people are missing that sentence. The teacher and the op. Not the a-hole. And that clearly wasn't meant in the way you had decided to take it, Imo. Edit. I'm pretty sure my middle child is gay. Is that wrong to say? Why would it be any different? Based on his relationship and interactions with his child, with whom he is close enough for the child to turn to when he is troubled, the dad has stated he's pretty sure his son will be straight. Pretty sure equals not 100% certain, could go the other way. He says this with no judgment. No hint of he better be straight or else. I think twisting that sentence into something homophobic it's reaching. I'm pretty sure my boys are straight, but am raising them to understand that our household accepts all forms of partnerships. My educated guess could be proven wrong in the years to come, but I'm not damaging them, and I'm not homophobic for making that guess. The damage would come if I rejected who they are, which I would not do, and I don't feel listed has done. Not the a-hole. What's wrong with that? How is that wrong? Many parents can tell if their child is gay early on or straight. They literally raise them and are around them all the time. I'm so confused. What's the problem? I don't think he was making a judgment. I think Op was just presenting what he's observed about his own kid. He didn't say anything that indicated he cared one way or another, and his observation was on topic. I took it as a dad who assumes based off their relationship that his son is straight. Probably why he uses the words pretty sure when describing his son's sexuality. I mean, if he was a homophobe, would his son even be allowed to be reading Greek literature considering the dumb stereotypes of ancient Greek history? Edit. Read Op's replies. And seems like I was wrong, and he ain't cool with it. Whether that sentence is a problem or not depends on a few parameters. Is this just what he thinks, or has Op actually told his kid he thinks that? If he's told the kid this, he's in a hole. Would he think different of his child if the kid did turn out to be gay? If he's not told the kid this thought and wouldn't be bothered by being wrong, then he's not in a hole. Parents assume a lot about their kids throughout their lives. It's whether or not they are either vocalizing these assumptions or would change how they feel about their child that determines whether or not having such an assumption makes someone in a hole. I mean, it's an assumption, yeah, but some parents do know their children pretty well. My aunt all but knew my cousin was gay long before he actually came out to anyone. Esh, yeah. Genuinely shocked at all the "but what if he could guess" comments. Kids can lie, they aren't on or bound to tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Even if he mentioned liking girls, well, who says that isn't a cover up? Nobody. And even if, say, he saw his son watching straight porn, that doesn't mean he isn't also into other boys, or what have you. Bisexual people exist. Of course, there is nothing wrong with also being straight either. But it's very presumptuous to say I'm pretty sure has gonna be straight of a child. Kids can and will lie, or selectively omit pieces. I'm bisexual and passed as straight for years because I just didn't bring up that women are also hot. Even if his dad is accepting, he could learn that homophobia is a thing elsewhere and become afraid fear isn't a rational emotion. So, yeah, that's a very presumptuous at best line. The teacher shouldn't assume and neither should papa. Both of them should lay off. But criticizing the teacher is of course the rational action here, since the incident is something the teacher did. Papa should probably lean back as well in the future though. The bordering bullying is a real issue here that needs to be fixed underlying everything tbh. Yeah, I'm hoping Op just wrote the words in his head down wrong. You don't think, after raising a kid and being around them for 13 years, you'd have an idea of who they are? How is that so strange? Glad other PPL caught this comment too. Op 100% trading on stereotypes here. Also, regardless of whether or not Op's reductive view of his kid's sexuality or gender expression will be, he's taught the kid some really negative lessons about being queer. Chief among those, if someone says you're gay, it's a big enough deal that I'll fight the entire school administration and get a teacher fired over how "inappropriate" it was for someone to say that about you. Lol, my mom also was very convinced I was straight. She has quite the shock when I came out as bi. Also, Op is not sticking to a male/female pronoun. Like one sentence he calls the T her or her, then the literal next sentence starts with he. So I'm kinda leaning towards that this post might be fake or this guy just has no clue what gender the teacher is and isn't sticking to one gender. I'm genuinely confused as to what means. Why is it okay for people to say I was pretty sure my son was gay since he was 4 or whatever? When I was 13, my mom was pretty sure I was gay even before I knew. She was right. Parents know their kids well, and there's nothing wrong with having a hunch like that. Pretty sure, as in, if I were gonna place a bet, I'd say he's straight. I don't see any hate here. He didn't say anything about hoping he's straight or trying to influence his son in any way. I would love to have parents that would be willing to accept any sexual orientation I ended up being. I was outed as gay in middle school and it followed me to college. It was made worse because I'm straight. A couple bullies started a rumor and years later girls either think I'm gross or wanna take me shopping cause they know my secret. I've been beaten and harassed for being a homosexual, and I'm not even bisexual. I feel for this kid, especially if he isn't even gay, or worse, doesn't know yet, and I truly believe Op was just giving us more background and insight. Op is not the a-hole, but you're kind of a jerk for missing the whole point and focusing on one sentence that wasn't worded to your particular liking. He's trying to speak correct and not offend while not knowing all the proper vocabulary. Don't hate on someone clearly trying to be respectful. You're no better than the bullies on the other side mocking someone for their sexuality. OP equals not the a-hole. However, not the a-hole. Ask more questions before jumping to your own conclusions based on one statement. There's more to this story than one sentence. The father obviously has a reason for believing this at this time. He obviously cares a great deal about his son and knows him pretty well, so who are we to? A statement made by the man who has raised him and clearly cares enough to ask for further input from Reddit. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell for more videos. Also like the video if you enjoy it.